guys, this is Arvind from MindMajix, and I welcome you all to this amazing session on how to learn Python programming for free. So lately, we have been receiving a lot of messages and requests from the students and learners around this topic. Like they wanted to know how do we learn Python programming for free, or how do we start our Python journey. Because of this, we decided to come up with a video addressing all these queries. In this video, we have tried to cover maximum possible resources that one can use, and they are all free of cost. Before moving ahead, I want you guys to subscribe to MindMajix YouTube channel and also hit the bell icon so that you never miss an update from us. So without wasting any further time, let's get started with our topic. Before knowing how do we learn Python, we try to address this question, why do we need to learn Python programming? So the first job title here is that of a Python web developer. So once you cover the basics of Python, like if you're well aware of the Python basics, then you can switch to the web frameworks such as Flask and Django. And using these frameworks, you can develop web applications in Python. So there are a lot many jobs that are available for a skilled Python web developer. And the primary skills, as discussed earlier, for these job titles is Django and Flask. So the next job title is that of a data analyst. So a data analyst is someone who knows Python very well. And apart from that, you also need to know web scraping, SQL, Excel, and data visualization, or you can call a business intelligence tool, such as Power BI or Tableau. So these are the skills that are necessary for you to become a data analyst. The next job title is that of a data scientist in Python. As a data scientist, apart from Python, you need to know SQL, Tableau, or Power BI. Then you also need to know deep learning, NLP, computer vision, statistics, and so on. Okay. The next job title is that of a machine learning engineer or an AI engineer. So a machine learning engineer also needs to know Python. And apart from that, he needs to know maths, statistics, data structures and algorithms, machine learning algorithms, AI tools, and AI techniques, and so on. Okay. And the last job title is that of a software development engineer in Python, or this job title is widely known as SD in Python. For a software development engineer, he needs to know OOPS principles in Python, data structures and algorithm, any SQL-based database such as MySQL or Oracle, and so on. So these are the various job titles that are available for you if you know Python programming, and plus some add-on skills as discussed earlier. So I think these are the job titles that are widely available as of now. Like there are many openings. Like if you go to any job portal, you'll find a wide number of openings that are related to these job titles. Okay. So this is the primary reasons for most of the people to learn Python. Let's just move on to the next question here. The next question is the main topic of this session. How do we learn Python programming? Okay. So to answer this query, we have divided our session into 5 categories. Like the first category will be that of websites. Then you have coding platforms. Then you have online courses as well. And then you also have free books in the form of PDFs. And you also have YouTube channels from where you can learn Python programming. Okay. So let's just discuss these topics one by one. These are the websites, as you can see on the screen, that I've sorted. Like there are 10 websites here. You can choose any one among these depending upon your comfort level or your interest. Like you might like any one website from this, and you just have to select that, and you have to get started with Python programming without thinking too much. Okay, all of these websites are very good. It's not that one website is good and the other one is, bad or something like that. There's no such concept. So let me show you a few of these websites. So the first website we'll see here is, as you can see on the screen, docs.python.org. Okay, so let's go to this website. docs.python.org/3/library. Okay, so this is the official documentation of Python. Okay, so from here you can download Python for your system. Okay, once you install the Python on your system, then you can click on the documentation part. Okay, so as you can see, depending upon your skill level, like if you're a beginner, you have this beginner section here. If you're an intermediate candidate, then you have this section, moderate, and then we have an advanced section as well. Like if you already know Python, like a few basics, then you can directly switch to the moderate, or the advanced section. Okay. And if you scroll down a bit, then you can see here tutorial section. If you click on that, you will be directed to the Python tutorial. Okay. So this is the very simple and the powerful documentation that is available for Python, from where you can learn whatever concepts that you want. Okay. So if you're someone who's a beginner, you can start from this point number one, point number two, and so on. Okay. So these are the topics that you can cover from this official documentation. And I think these topics are more than enough for you to start your Python journey. Okay. And once you cover these topics, so the next steps would be, I'll tell you what to do after learning these basic stuffs. Okay. So let's just move on to the next website. I'll just pick a few and we'll discuss what are the topics that are covered on these websites. Okay. So what we can do is, let's go to W3 schools. Okay. So W3 schools, we search on Google. Okay. So this is the homepage of this website, w3schools.com. A few seconds to load. Okay. So once you click on this tutorial section here, you can see this programming section, and here you can click on Learn Python. Okay. If I click on Learn Python, it's taking some time. Okay. So let's just discuss this website, whatever tutorials that are covered here. You can learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, server-side languages or databases, data analytics, web development, programming, XML, and so on. So this is a very good website if you want to learn other topics as well. Okay. So here we are on this Python tutorial from W3 schools. So these are the topics that are covered in this website. Okay. So as you can see here, these are very good topics and you must know these topics as a Python developer. Okay. So you can cover this Python tutorial till here, and you can cover this section as well, file handling. And depending upon, what your end goal is. So if you want, say, let's say, for example, if you want to become a data analyst or a data scientist, so then you can cover these tutorials as well, NumPy, Pandas, SciPy. Okay. So these are Python modules for data analysis purpose. Okay. Then you also have Python Matplotlib, which is again used for data visualization, Python library. Okay. Then you also have machine learning. Okay. So if you just want to become a software development engineer in Python, you can cover till file handling. Okay. So this is more than sufficient. Okay. So this is another good website for you to cover Python basics. So guys, let's just pick one more website from here, Google. So if you go to this website, developers.google.com. So let me just show you this website. Okay. So this is the website, developers.google.com/edu/Python. Okay. So Google has covered a lot many basics of Python. Like you can consider this as a crash course of Python. Okay. So these topics are more than enough for you to get started with Python. There is website as well for covering these topics. Like if you click on, let's say, if you want to learn strings, Python strings, this topic. So there is web-based learning as well. And if you want to cover the videos related to this, so if you click on this lecture videos, you'll be directed. So if you click on that link, you'll be directed to the YouTube channel wherein they have covered this through a video. Okay. So this another is a very good course from Google for you to cover the Python basics. Okay. So these were some of the websites that you can use to learn the basics of Python. So all of these are very good websites. So let's just move on to the next section, which is the coding platforms. The coding platform that I'm talking here is that of HackerRank. So let me just show you. So if you search HackerRank on Google, this is the first link that you get. So what you need to do is you just have to log in. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll log in using my Google account. Okay. So as you can see here, you can learn a lot many skills apart from Python. So in this section, if you scroll down a bit, skills available for practice. So you can click on Python. Okay. So there are these many challenges that are related to Python, and the skills will be classified as problem solving basic, Python basic, problem solving advanced, and Python intermediate. Apart from this, you also have easy, medium, and hard. Like, for example, if you click on arithmetic operators, okay, so here you will be given a problem statement. Then you also have example of that, input format, constraints or limitations, and then the output format. Okay, and you just have to type your code over here. Okay, so using this, you can cover various topics related to Python. Okay, so we have arithmetic operators, division, loops, functions. Okay, so if I click on basics, so these are the basic stuffs. And if I click on Python intermediate, so let me just uncheck this. Okay, so as you can see here, we have decorators and default arguments related to Python. Okay, so this I believe is a very good platform to practice your skills. Like just cover the basics from one of those websites that we discussed earlier, and then you can polish or hone your skills related to Python on this platform. Okay, so these days many companies, they ask for your coding platform profile. Okay, they want to see how do you rank over here, like how many challenges do you participate in, how many problems have you solved on this coding platforms. Okay, so this I consider this as a very good platform for you to practice your Python skills. Okay, so the next section that we're going to talk about is an online course. Okay, so many guys must be knowing about this platform, Coursera.org. Okay, so let's just go to this platform, Coursera. Okay, so if you go to this link, Coursera.org, specializations and Python. Okay, so this is a very good course related to Python. Okay, so the course name is Python for Everybody Specialization. Okay, so this is a 100% online course, and you do not need any experience for taking up this course. Okay, so as you can see here, it is mentioned beginner level, no experience required. Okay, so the duration is also mentioned here. It takes approximately 8 months to complete, and suggested pace is 3 hours per week. Like if you do this course for 3 hours every week, it will take 8 months. If you do it every day, like 3 hours per day, maybe you can finish it within 1 month as well. Okay, so this is a very good course, and there are 5 courses in this specialization. The first one is programming for everybody, which is nothing but getting started with Python. Like there's no need to cover each and every course depending upon your requirement. You can just cover few basics with like this course. You can get started with this course. The next course is that of Python data structures. And then the third course is about using Python to access the web data. So I think this course is related to web scraping. This is one of the key skills when it comes to job skills of a data analyst. Okay, then you have this course here called using databases with Python. And then you have the final project. Okay, so this specialization ends with a capstone project, or you can call it a final project. Okay, so this is a very good specialization, or a bunch of courses related to Python. Okay, so now you must be wondering what is the cost of this course. Okay, so as you can see here, financial aid is available. Like I know this session is all about how to learn Python freely, but you can enroll for this course free of cost, and you can complete this course free of cost without getting a certificate. You just require some amount only if you want a certificate. And the advantage of this certificate is you can display it on your LinkedIn profile and other social media platforms. So, just to get this certificate, you require some amount. Okay, apart from that, this course is totally free if you don't want the certificate. And I believe, guys, you must focus on learning and gaining skills apart from, getting certificates. So certificate, I don't say certificate is not important. Certificate is important, but before that, your focus should be learning and gaining skills. Okay. So that is free of cost. And like in this section, financial aid available, if you describe your, let's say, for example, if there is a candidate whose financial background is not so good, like if he's not having any job and if he's not able to pay, so, Coursera can give you this course or this specialization for free of cost. Okay. So I've seen such instances where people have got free specialization from Coursera. Okay. So this is another important thing that is mentioned here. Okay. So I highly recommend you guys to take up this course for free. Okay. So if you have some, like if you're ready to pay some amount to get the certificate, go ahead. No problem with that. Okay. So this was the online course. Like for those, like, there are many people who are not comfortable with, web-based learning or online courses. For them, we have these two free PDFs, or you can say the books. Like if you can buy these books, very well and good. But on the internet, you can find these free PDFs as well. The first PDF is that of Think Python. So let me just show you. Think Python. Okay, so this is another very good book related to Python. Okay, so you can download, like if you search on Google for a free PDF of this book, you'll get it. And this is a very good related to Python. And if you want to spend some amount, like for those who are not comfortable with web-based learning and online courses, you can spend some amount and get this book as well. Okay, but I'll suggest you to get a free PDF of this book. You'll find it over the internet and start learning Python, cover the basics. Okay, and the next book that we have is Learn Python the Hard Way by Zed Shaw. This is another very amazing book. Okay, so also let me just do a Google search. Okay, as you can see here, Learn Python the Hard Way. Like if you search on the internet, you'll get a free PDF as well of this book. And this is a very interesting and a very good book related to Python by the author Z.A. Shaw. Okay, so these are some of the books that you can refer if you want to learn Python. So the last section of this question, how to learn Python programming, you can learn Python programming through some YouTube channels. There are a lot many YouTube channels that will help you cover the Python programming. And as you can see here, these are the channels that I highly recommend you. Like these are the links as well. I'll post them in the description box as well. So you can refer to these links and they have comprehensively covered Python in a very good way. Like you can cover the basics and then you can move to the intermediate stage and then you can move to the advanced stages as well using these tutorials. Okay, just to name a few, the first channel is that of Code Basics. Like if you go to YouTube, I'll just show you. Okay, this is my YouTube page and let me just type Code Basics. Okay, so this is the channel, Code Basics. And if you click on this playlist section on this channel, okay, so as you can see here, the author of this channel has created various playlists. Okay, so as you can see here, we have this data structures and algorithms in Python and Python 3 programming tutorial for beginners. Okay, so if you click on that, okay, so in this playlist, there are approximately 42 videos. Okay, and this guy has covered them in a beautiful way. Like you can get started with Python using this playlist by covering the basics first. And after you have covered all of these lectures, 42 lectures, then, depending upon your end goal, like if you want to become a data analyst, so there are various playlists as well that are available for a data analyst, such as this pandas tutorial, Python NumPy tutorial, matplotlib tutorial. Okay, so there are many videos are available related to Python. Okay, you can also focus on Python projects. This is something we are going to discuss in the later part of this video. Okay, so this is a very good YouTube channel for learning Python. Okay, so the next channel that we are going to discuss is that of Krish Naik. Okay, so similar to Code Basics, Krish Naik has also covered Python in a very comprehensive way. Okay, so if I search Krish Naik on YouTube, this is his YouTube channel, and if I click on playlist, okay, so this guy has created amazing tutorials, guys. Believe me. So he has Django tutorials, Flask, linear algebra, and our focus is on Python. So as you can see here, complete Python playlist. Right, click on that. Okay, so complete Python playlist. So this playlist has 54 videos, and he has covered all of the basics that you need to know about Python. Okay, so these are the tutorials that you can have a look at to get started with Python. And he has covered a few projects as well, which you can do after learning Python. Okay, so after learning Python, you can also look for various other playlists, such as, machine learning. You can, as you can see here, machine learning interview questions. There are a lot many playlists on this channels. Okay, so you guys can have a look at it. Okay, so this was another interesting YouTube channel. So similarly, we have other channels as well. Telescope, Programming with Mosh. Okay, so this guy has covered, I believe, Python in 3 to 4 hours, I guess. Okay, so this is another very important video, or you can call it a crash course on Python. So after that, once you're aware with the basics, so what you can do is, let me just copy this link from Tech with Team. Okay. Okay. So if you have a look at this video, let me just skip this ad. Okay. So what this guy has done here, he has covered 5 mini projects for beginners, especially that are related to Python. Okay. So as you can see here, these are the various projects: quiz game, number guessing game, rock, paper, scissors, choose your own adventure, and password managers. Okay, so this is I think an advanced project related to Python. So guys, I heavily suggest everyone, like anyone who's new to programming, just learn the basics first and then focus on, developing something. Like develop your own project. Let it be a simple application such as calculator, or, a to-do list, or a notepad, or a game, something like this, quiz game, number guessing game, or any other game in Python. Okay, so what you can do is you can develop your own project and you can upload them on GitHub, and also you can upload them to LinkedIn. Okay, so this is a brilliant way to practice your Python skills. Okay, so this guy has covered 5 mini projects related to Python in, I think, less than 2 hours. So I highly recommend you to go for this video once you are well aware of the basics of Python. Okay, so apart from that, there's also one more video from FreeCodeCamp. Okay, so let me just copy this link and let me just show you. So in this video, I think in approximately 3 hours, they have covered 12 Python beginner projects. Okay, so this is another very interesting video, guys, and I highly recommend you to watch these videos once you are comfortable with Python. Okay, so you can, as you can see on the screen, guess the number, rock, paper, scissors, as discussed earlier, hangman, tic-tac-toe, binary search, Sudoku solver. There are a lot many interesting projects here which you can develop using Python. Okay, so these are some of the YouTube videos or YouTube channels that I want you to have a look at once you are well aware with the Python concepts. Okay, so guys, as you can see, these videos are free of cost. You just need to have a laptop and a proper internet connection to learn from these videos. Okay, so let's just move on to the next portion of this video: best tips to learn Python. Okay, so now this is the most important things for most of the people out there who are looking for a job as a Python professional. So the first point that I would like to discuss here is that of consistency. So you should ideally allocate time daily for learning Python. Even if it is 1 hour, I want you guys to practice Python programming daily. So this brings consistency and confidence in you to learn Python. There are many people who are working full time and they want to learn Python. So apart from your working hours, what you can do is you can allocate some time in the morning or in the evening, like be 30 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours or whatever, as per your convenience. So once you do that daily, you'll get in the flow of learning Python. Okay. And for someone who's looking for a job full time, who's not having a job currently, so that student can, he can devote more time as compared to a working professional. So consistency is very important while learning Python or for that matter, any programming language. Okay. So this was the first tip that I would like to give you. And the next point here is less theory, more hands-on. So do not spend too much time in learning theory. Once you're done with the basics, focus on solving problems and building projects. Once you're done with the projects, upload them to GitHub and other social media platforms or the professional platforms such as LinkedIn. You can also write a blog on the topics that you have learned in Python and the Python projects, and you can share these blogs on LinkedIn as well. Okay, so this is another very important point. So uploading your projects, and let's say if you write a blog for whatever you have covered in Python, so this will upgrade your LinkedIn profile. So if a recruiter wants to hire you, so he can just have a look at your LinkedIn profile and he can see whatever you have learned or what skills do you have. This is another important tip. The next point here is avoid regional languages to learn programming tutorials. Okay, so guys, don't get me wrong. This is my personal suggestion. Please do not learn any programming language from YouTube channels that explain you the concepts in regional languages such as Hindi, Marathi, Telugu, Tamil, and so on. Okay, so I'm not against these languages. Not only Python course, but if you watch any content in English, such as movies, web series, sports commentary, this helps you in improving your communication skills. So focus on content that is delivered in English. So this way you'll polish your English skills as well. And ultimately your interview is going to be in English only. So this is going to be a win-win situation for you. Okay, so your confidence will grow massively once you clear all the hurdles by learning Python and getting a job. Okay, so guys, please do not get me wrong. I repeat once again. So I want you guys to, be confident once you learn Python. Just go out there, apply for jobs, get interview calls, and crack the jobs. So that's the whole motive behind this point. Okay, gaining confidence. Okay, the next point here is focusing on data structures and algorithm and problem solving. Along with Python, you must also focus on learning data structures and algorithms and problem solving skills. So this topic is the core of every programming language, be it C++, Java, JavaScript, and so on. Also, I see a lot of people running behind certifications of Python. So getting certification is not a bad thing, as I told earlier, but I feel skills are more important than certifications. Okay. And the last point here is there's one course on YouTube that is freely available from Harvard University, which is known as Harvard CS50. So this is my personal suggestion. Okay, take this advice with a pinch of salt and do this only if you have time. Okay, so this is a very important and a very brilliant course. Like I believe every guy who is in the IT profession or who is going to be an IT professional in the future should watch this course. Okay, Harvard CS50. So the trainer has explained each and every concept beautifully in this series of videos. Okay, and you'll trust me, you'll learn a lot from these videos and you won't regret it by watching these series of lectures from Harvard University. Okay, so these were some of the tips. The next question here is how long does it take to learn Python? For a student who's just graduated from college, it will take less time. Okay, and for someone who's working or studying, it will take more time. So if you're about to get your first job and you have free time as of now, so you can devote more time to learn Python. The more time you spend in learning Python, the less time it will take for you to apply for jobs. Okay. And for someone, as discussed earlier, who's working or studying full time, so it will take more time. So even if you dedicate 2 hours per day, so for covering the basics, I think it will take not less than 2 weeks. or maximum 2 weeks to cover the basics, and then you can start working on projects. Okay, so projects will take another 2 weeks, I believe. So I think in for someone who's working full time or studying full time, so I think 1 month should be more than enough to cover Python basics and also a few projects related to Python. Okay, so actually, to be very honest, this is a very subjective question. It depends on the person to person. It depends on your grasping capability as well. Just instead of deciding how long it will take, just focus on your effort. Effort should be of prime importance rather than thinking about how much time it will take. So with this, we have come to the end of this session on how to learn Python programming for free. Okay, I hope you guys have enjoyed this session, and I've tried to cover maximum number of queries that we have been receiving related to this topic. So as you guys know, the IT industry is very dynamic. Like, you can learn Python programming. Apart from that, you can learn other skills as discussed earlier, like Django, Flask, data analysis, data science, machine learning, and so on. So you can get a job. Okay. So you can, after getting job, you can work for 3-4 years maybe. And then, there's another skill in the market, since it is changing very dynamically, the IT landscape. Okay. So after that, you'll have to, upskill yourself, and you'll have to learn another skills. So that has been the crux of IT industry. This trend will continue in future as well. So that's all from my side in this session on how to learn Python programming for free. If you have any doubts in this session, so feel free to write them in the comment section, and we will try to address all your queries as early as possible. So thank you so much for being with us, and have a nice day.